Hello, this is Karl-James Langford over from Barry from a wonderful day. Sun's been shining, lot been happening. I've decided with these broadcasts every evening, and the evening today is the Friday the 13th of June 2014, that we'll give a title to each of these conversations. And the title today is Company and Solace in the Written Word. Some of us read the written word to lose ourselves, and in a way, in the typical vein of acting, when you're acting you lose yourself in the act. I just thought that there's so much that a lot of us wish to say and discuss that you can't really express it through writing things on Facebook. It's always better to present, as I'm doing now, as I've said before, and to actually read something that's fixed, that doesn't change. Lots been happening today, positive things and the usual negative things, and two things that I keep being asked is, why are you losing a lot of weight, Carl? And I don't feel that. I feel comfortable in my weight, comfortable in my figure, and yeah, I am a lot more slimmer than I was, but I am eating the right food now, and everything's fine. And people who keep going on about your weight and your appearance, because my glasses, I don't like wearing my glasses because usual thing, you four eyes person and all the rest of it, why are you wearing glasses, that image. But I've been told to wear them a lot more, and it's about image and not to listen to other people. And I wear my glasses, I wear them a lot more when I'm acting now. It's more about me, and presentation, and not hiding the fact that I wear glasses, not wearing contacts instead, but wearing glasses. And that's the point about weight as well. Just, it's what people's perception is. If you feel comfortable in yourself, then that's fine. You don't need opinions from other people. And that comes on the back of today. One of my very, very dear friends that I love hearing from. She's called Helena, and when she contacts me, it's almost as if I was just speaking to her last week, and it can be weeks and weeks, months, that I speak to her, and it's always a word of wisdom. We mentioned yesterday about Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Again, Jake mentioned about Jonathan Livingston Seagull after me mentioning it last night, and he said he's read it as well. One of my regular watchers and listeners here as well. And whenever I talk and text Helena, we always talk about this flight, getting as high as possible and flying. And if any of you know the book Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach, you will know that Jonathan doesn't really care about his appearance. He goes out flying, and as long as he's eaten enough, he's able to perfect this high flying, keep going. Whenever I'm talking to Helena, it's almost as if it's a mirror every single time of our experiences, and I'm saying something, and she says, "Oh, that's what's happened to me recently," and then she says something, and I say, "That's happened to me." And we say very personal things a lot to each other, and it's very deep, and it's very close to me, and we're able to communicate. And she has some of the same experiences as me, a mirror. And we take that flight with Jonathan Livingston Seagull whenever we text, whenever we talk as well. And I mentioned to her, she said that that she was going to start after I've spoken to a conversation via Skype with a client of hers back at home, and she said she's going to do it via Skype, and it's something that she does every week. And I thought, oh, I feel I probably need to do more of the Skype stuff, because I don't feel when I'm presenting on Skype as if I'm actually teaching in a classroom. It's very different. As soon as I'm moving away from teaching in a classroom, Skype's a good place to keep in touch and to express views and opinions about something that was very, very close to me for a very long time, archaeology. So if anyone else wants to do Skype me to teach them a Skype class about anything to do with archaeology, then I can do it. You get to the point in archaeology that you're so absolutely brilliant at it, like myself, that you don't need to prove anything to anybody anymore. And the CD player's got a bit weird with the Eva Cassidy. Need to turn it off. Usually happens like that. I usually play a disc over and over again. Anyway, we did have a bit of Eva Cassidy in the background there. So back to happenings. Convinced Jake that we need to get me on his film that he's filming on in the next 10 days on a Sunday, so that'd be good. Something to do on a Sunday. Filming. It's good filming on a Sunday because everything's relatively quiet. And talk about balance in these things. I was contacted today, and I had to get really deep about something, and I know I should get over it, but I had a really nasty experience when I was in Orkney, and I explained to somebody, and they said they wish they'd have known, because yeah, I've got to leave the terrible experience of being treated horrifically by my students in Orkney, who took me completely for granted, most of them. Gave up 8 days and so on. Anyway, I've discussed that. And yes, I have moved on. And moving on is to just basically realise that archaeology is no more for me, and hence I'm doing acting. And I'm really happy with that and comfortable with that. But it's very difficult to be everything to people all the time and trying to give them all information, as I'm not given a lot of information now, but I'm given enough. So what I want us to do is, I've mentioned again Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach a fair bit this evening, and back to the written word, solace in the written word. A lot of us suffer from loneliness, and it's good to try and connect with people as much as you possibly can. And I try to connect with reading things and doing activities that basically make sure that I'm connected, and hence Skype and these videos. This is an interesting quote from Jonathan Livingston Seagull again. It goes, this is about Jonathan Livingston Seagull. They are saying in the flock that if you are not the son of the great gull himself, then you are 1,000 years ahead of your time. Now that's a very interesting point. Very interesting quote. And it's all about one of the gulls, a certain Fletcher, saying to Jonathan one morning after an advanced speed practice, because Jonathan Livingston Seagull had progressed and now he had a following. People were learning off him. The whole book is about, then you pass that on to people, then you move to another level. That's in a way that what I'm doing with archaeology. I don't need it in my life anymore. I've done it, so I can move on and go to another level. And Jonathan Jonathan, in response to this, gives a long silence. And the long silence then, Jonathan's response is to Fletcher, well, this kind of flying has always been here to be learned by anyone who wanted to discover it. That's got nothing to do with time. We're ahead of the fashion, maybe. Ahead of the way that most gulls fly. And point is that everything is to be learned and sometimes passed on, but everything will be learned. And I discovered, very much to do with archaeology today, is that whatever I've taught people can be learned by everybody, and there's nothing more that I can pass on. There's no more words of wisdom that I can pass on in archaeology. Archaeology is the easiest thing in the world to learn. Um, it's simple, and I don't need to do that simple stuff anymore. I need to progress in the art of acting. Uh, so that's where I'm going. So I think tonight that's I've got a really interesting day ahead of me tomorrow, and I'm hoping that again we can have another conversation tomorrow night. But I'd like to say one other thing. I believe that Levain has joined these to watch these as well, like many other individuals, and I thank you for that. And just saying to Levain that she reads a lot of documents and she really gets involved with them, and she puts the information on Facebook, and she's really positive about it, but can get down sometimes when people are critical of her. And I'm just saying, well, there's always going to be critics, and you know you're doing the right thing when there are critics. You know, for example, with me, when you get a bit of a thumbs down on these videos, good, you got a critic. You're getting to somebody, you're winding somebody up, even if they don't like these displays. Put 10 thumbs down, go on. It doesn't matter. But Levain, you're doing the right thing. You're getting out there, and that written word is important. You're reading it and translating it and giving it to other people, and it's really, really good. So Levain, keep doing what you're doing. You're absolutely awesome. And to everybody else out there, everybody who's watching these things, keep being awesome. The word awesome, and maybe that on Saturday night. Take care, folks, and we'll speak soon. Night night.